Nation, Pack Nation. How we doing? How we feeling? You know, our guy Paul decided to stop playing games and come on back. It's your first time checking the channel out. Welcome. It's Packing with Gary. And we're just going to talk about how you all are feeling so far. Already I have some people that are a little bothered by how I feel, which is okay. But, I'm going to share with you all that, I'm not nervous or anything like that. But I will tell you, we don't really have a backup center. And there's rumblings of Musa coming back. And I'm just telling y'all, I don't care. He's going to have to improve a lot with what he's able to do, right? In order for him to be formidable and have us at a good spot. I do not want this man back. And if you have not heard me say it before, it's mainly because of how he gets defeated in games. He's pretending to be injured. Like, I don't want him as a big, because as soon as he gets bodied up, he's not going to be dependable, right? He doesn't have, to me, what it takes to be like a for real big man in college basketball, definitely in the ACC. So that's part of why I don't want Musa back. Some of you may be excited about that. I'm not. Now that does make me nervous. The rest of our roster, I'm cool with. I'm not super excited, but I'm not going to complain too much. Now, I do want to say lineup-wise, I'm hearing a lot about, we got our starting five and we're going to play Paul at the 3. I really don't like that. I'm not saying it can't work or that it won't work, because if that's how Gainey's going to roll, obviously he know what he's doing. But ideally, if you put Paul at the 2 and play whoever you want to at the 1, I don't know which one of those guards is going to run the point and start for us, but put Paul at the 2 and have Yalaho play the 3 and then have you another big at the 4, then I feel better. Or even get us a center to actually play center and put Evans at the 4, whatever. But I don't like Paul being at the 3. And it's because we know Paul is just a shooting guard, okay? Unless this man gets absolutely phenomenal in the off-season on defense, he becomes like a solid defensive rebounder. I know he has his games, but I'm talking about you can count on him to get you 6 a game. Unless he turns into something we have not seen yet, I don't want him at the 3. He's not. He's not that well-rounded of a basketball player to me for him to be playing the 3. I think he need to be in there at the 2 doing what he need to do, which is just shooting the ball. Simple as that. So let me get caught up on y'all comments here. Mark, welcome to the channel, as always. We need size. Man, let JG build his roster. What you need to do is calm down. Now, my man, Mark, you said this before I even started my live, which is wild. But I'm still going to address it. So first, I'm calm. Again, it's no biggie, but I'm not going to sit here and talk like there's not the elephant in the room. If we had to go hoop today, we're in trouble. Okay? And you're talking about, let him build his roster. Okay, cool. Well, if you go look in the portal, there ain't that many bigs left. And a lot of them are behind a Musa ranking. And we know how that's going to look, right? So if you want a guy to come in and just get you some fouls, some Scotty Abube type play, cool. But if we're looking for a guy to really have some decent minutes and take, some of the pressure off Evans if he's going to play the 5, we got to get going. I mean, we got plenty of of smaller players right now, plenty of shooters. And so now we need somebody to go get some boards when these guys are jacking up threes. And if you don't agree with that, that's cool. But I'm telling you, that's what's needed. Gainey Lover. Uh-oh. I think Zamika is going to be a great backup for us. All we need is a good backup center now. Yeah. Now listen, I'm glad you brought this up. If Zamika ends up being this huge surprise, because we really don't know what we're going to get from this kid, if he steps on the scene is like formidable, that's going to be exciting, right? Because it's like you lost weight, you got an offensive repertoire, you can move a little bit, rebound, cool. Then I can see a lineup where you could play him at the 4. Then you can move Galaho to the 3, Paul at the 2. Like I'm telling you, a bigger lineup is going to be best. And then you could have Hammond running the 1. So you go 6'5" and up through the whole lineup. Instead of, having little small guards in there, getting posted up, ball thrown over their head, whatever. Yeah. So I do like the idea of Zamika being in a rotation. Hopefully he is able to do that. I'm looking forward to that. Gainey Lover says, we don't need Musa. No shade. You spitting bars. We do not need him. All shade for me. We do not need him. Yes, Johnson says, just saw the new Will Wade interview. What a joke. Oh, man. Well, I guess since you brought it up, I'll talk about it. Yeah, I looked at that interview. First off, Rothstein should be ashamed of himself, letting that man just lie to his face this whole time. And he was so kind with how he started the interview and just letting him. We were talking about all these other schools. And he finally, I would have came in there like, hey, look, let's talk about how you left NC State. I mean, he is talking like everything was fine. And then to talk about all these commitments he got that they didn't want to announce because these people are still playing and in playoffs. And I'm like, playoffs? We talking about playoffs? Like what? Yo, this dude, he was absolutely hilarious. I listened to the whole thing, though. I don't know how I managed to listen to it. But, he did try to throw a little jab talking about resources, like we ain't have enough resources for him. He think the SEC is pretty much a better league. And they do have more money with the contracts. We know that. But I'm like, yo, you at a school where football is king, my God. Like, you're not about to get down there and have any shine. Like, I don't know what he's thinking. But, he's been there before. He's in love with the people from his staff at McNeil. He said they got really close. I don't know how close, but it's obviously close enough to follow each other around the jobs. So we're going to see how that play out. I'm like everybody, I'm hoping it's the worst season ever in LSU history. David says, don't want Musa back. He's not even a rim running project this time. You're right, man. Shout out to David. David, pointed out Witty to me in a few lives ago. I had to go check him out. And David, you're right. I like Witty. I like him a lot. So I think he's going to be pretty decent for us down the road. James says, Musa, as I've said in the past, 2 left feet and all thumbs. Send him to LSU with Will the Snake Wade. Now, look, I don't like Musa, but I don't know that I'm going to send him to Wade. Like, I don't hate him, so I wouldn't wish that on him. But, yeah, he doesn't need to come back to our school, right? Like, not catching the ball, falling down, being hurt, limping back on defense, the lack of effort. I can just go on and on. That stuff I'm cool with. I don't want any of that. But, yeah, I mean, but at this point, like, just think about, I'm being told that I'm overreacting. I need to calm down. If you're considering bringing back a big that you told you might want to go check out somewhere else as soon as you got there, like, what we doing? That should tell you right there that you've been looking around. You ain't really seeing much left right now, right? You had Paul stall you out, so you couldn't really spend like you wanted to. Now it's like, okay, we overpaid for him, we know, which is fine. Now we got this money left over, and we're like, who can we get for it? Let's fill out the rest of the roster with just people. It's like, yeah, I don't know, but it can't be that bad out there to have to grab Musa. I refuse to believe it's that bad. Since we going mid-major like crazy, go get one of them bigs. Just they specialize in rebounding. There's got to be something left in the portal. It's like thousands of these kids in there. Half of them are not committed. Matter of fact, let me look and see how many of these kids are still available in this daggone portal. Because I know we're looking at 49% of the kids in the portal are committed. Okay. So we shouldn't have to fall back on Musa. David says 6'11" Frank McNeil from Washington. Yeah, I've seen him as an option. I'm not gonna get my hopes up on anybody until them jokers get on campus, because we've missed them like 3 or 4 bigs that we were in line for, and then before they even get here, they committing. The last one committed in Nebraska. It's like, man, this is ridiculous. Gotta get them kids here, man. A.S. Johnson says, I wonder how much cash we have left to fill out the roster. Does make you think if we really threw the cash down for Paul, and that is why it took so long to get him back. Listen, I asked this. All right, so Corey at Pack Power, they do their live or whatever show on Mondays. And I asked this question. I'm like, how much money we got left? Skipped right over it. I mean, went to the very next question. And so I'm like, okay, well, it seems to be this thing that people don't want to talk about, which is fine. But I think the fans would like to know, like, what we working with at this point, since we got Paul. And I get it's like, oh, you don't want to show your hand type stuff, but I can't find it in message boards. Like, it's really nobody has an idea. So we don't know. We don't know how much money we got left. We don't know if we need to give some more. You just don't know. I understand the approach and how people don't want to tell what their NIL is looking like, especially if it's not enormous like some other schools. But I don't know. It seems kind of counterproductive, but who knows? Mark says, I would give him one more look. He can actually guard guards. He should be able to rebound too. Mark. You're right. He should be able to do these things, right? He should. He has the ability, I believe, to do those things you're talking about. But he's not going to do it. The heart is not there. Okay, that it's missing. I don't know what happened to it. He had to have had it before he got here, but it is, or maybe Wade was talking to him crazy in practice and took it from him. I don't know, but what's needed to give the effort is missing. That's why I don't want him here. That's a big part of it. We've seen him get out on the perimeter, play defense. Yes, and I've seen him the next play trip over somebody's foot, go to the bench, and just sit there. So I understand where you're coming from, but it's just too much on tape for me to have me wanting him back. Okay, so I'm getting caught up. That was 7 minutes ago. Mark talking about I'm frozen. Hopefully, I'm not still. No one else has said anything, so I'm going to keep it moving. Christopher says, look like we have a mostly offensive roster outside of Evans. With P2 coming back, we'll be able to spread the floor. Yeah, we was already going to be able to spread the floor without him. I mean, he got some shooters. You're right. It is offense. You know, what everybody is saying is he feels he can teach a defense, right? So you can't really teach people how to go get a bucket or to, you know, be pretty good shooters quickly. So it's easier to teach them defensive mechanics. So, or if he has a specific defensive philosophy that helps, you know, team defense, that's easier. That's what we're going to do. Cool. I don't have no problem with that. I do believe if you got people that are athletic enough, you should be able to help them understand how to guard. James Johnson says, moment Will the Snake Wade left, he was forgotten to me. Screw him. His team was horrible on defense. Highly overrated coach. Good riddance to bad rubbish. Now, he was overrated. I will tell you, like, as a coach, highly overrated when it comes to actual coaching. But talking up his team and talking junk, he does that pretty well. I can't even fault him for that. Like, if you needed somebody, if you needed a hype man, he's a good hype man. Outside of that, that's it. Chip. I'm guessing this is Chip. So is Witty our backup PG? Are we talking to other PG? So listen, at the guard position, we're good. You've got Witty, you got Adams, you got Ed Mead and Hammond that can all run the point. So, I mean, we may get another guard, which I don't see why. Like, need forwards and bigs from here on out, but I think we're solidified at the point guard spot. David said Musa wanted more money now. He's not worth it. You saw that he wants more money? Oh, I hope that you're just saying that maybe he wants more money now, because you are right. If he wants more money, he can kick rocks for real. Like, that's why nobody's chasing after this man. Number one, he should understand that's not going to happen, or he would have been in the portal and found a home already. King Comfort says, hey, Gary, I think Paul has a little more in his bag than he showed with Wade. Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, whenever I said pay this man and even give him the, you know, the loyalty bonus, there is more. You can see it in late clock situations, right? What he has to do to try to get open or get his shot off shows he could do a little bit more. Even his freshman year, he did more of, like, you know, when he was trying to score, he could dribble, shoot a floater, like mid-range. He just had more to his game, and it seems like, okay, maybe he was just supposed to be the specialist last year. Wade did mention he didn't want him dribbling too much. Shoot it. But he's got to work on that. Like, if he's going to be our number one option, which is what it's looking like, he's got to have everything in his game going forward. Like, my only complaint for him needs to be he could go some stretches where he goes cold from three, right? But I don't want him doing like this past year where we know he can get cold during a stretch and he just disappear in the game. No, I give him props. He never really shot us out of game. Like, he shoots open shots. He used to force some, but for the most part, it's open shots. Next year, he's gonna have to do everything. He's gonna have to shoot some shots that's not open. He's gonna have to, when the three is not falling, take it to the rack and try to get to the free throw line. He's gonna have to rebound on both ends of the floor. Like, he's gonna have to do everything for us to just be decent at this point. So hopefully that plays out and he shows, like you said, he can do more than what Wade had him doing. Kings said definitely prefer him at the two as well, though. Absolutely, he needs to be at the 2. He's not a 3, even though he's tall. As Johnson says, follow up on the cash and reserves. As a state grad and loyal fan who does donate, it would be nice to have an understanding on the cash situation, especially after Lord Voldemort ran his mouth. Yeah, so I agree. Like that's one of the most frustrating things for me is not knowing the money situation. Like I don't understand why we can't move forward and figure out a way to sort of disclose like ranges or something like that. But I mean, we paying these guys. That stuff got to start coming up. Let's see. Almost caught up, guys. As Johnson asks, did Yalaho officially sign? I saw some other WP shows that mentioned they had not seen anything officially hammered out, even after he made it to campus. Yeah, that's what I'm not an insider. I'm seeing what you're seeing. I haven't found a thing that says he signed. Like, we know he took his visit. Everybody's including him in the lineups or whatnot. He's supposed to get a deal that includes, revenue share to give him more than what we initially talked about. But I haven't seen that little photo come out that's like, oh, signed. Then again, Whitty just signed like today, I believe. So I don't know. Maybe tomorrow something will happen. Maybe they just haven't dropped it yet. James says, I trust Justin to bring it in the projects we need to be successful and coach them up to his philosophy. Yeah, that's all we can do because he's definitely going that route. Anti-Satan says, we might have 2 to 4 million left for a biggie big. Just guessing roughly. We start with 10 to 12, 4 to Paul, 4 for others on the roster, leaves 2 to 4 left. Is that our number for Paul? 4? Did we? Oh, y'all making my head hurt with that one. Is that how high we went? I haven't seen that number. 4 is crazy. I'm hoping that's wrong. Okay. Somebody tell me that 4 is wrong. Chime in. Let me know, chat, because that is that's wild. I thought we was gonna be hovering around 3 or something like that. So 4 is wild. I need to move off that before I just get upset and y'all do have to tell me calm down. that's we could have moved on to the other guy for 4. All right, let's see. Also, RJ King is friends with Elaho and just did an interview including what to expect with Elaho. Yeah, so everybody talking like my man's coming. So I understand. I'm going to just leave it alone until I hear otherwise. David Johnson says, hearing they may be looking internationally for some bigs. Yep, heard the same thing. JUCO route, not a bad idea also. Listen, if you can get somebody in here from JUCO that, can manage the curriculum and we can figure out how to keep them in school, cool. Especially somebody who was like an All-American or something like that. It's got to be a few of those because I haven't seen any of them hitting the portal and landing at big schools. So where is this JUCO All-American big man at? I know he's out there. I know there's some out there better than Musa. It's the last time I'm talking about him. Bradley says, yes, we need size. Don't want another strictly jump shooting team. You're right. Bradley, and look, my thing is, it's not, if you're just getting in here, my thing is not just bigs at this point. When I talk about size, of course, we do need a backup center, right? We seem to be pretty decent at the 4. We got some people who can run in and out. You get a backup center, it changes a lot. Okay. But also, I don't want Paul being at the 3. If you're going to play a small guard, I want my 3-man to be like 6'8" or taller. 6'7", I'll take. 6'5", that's guard height. I mean, you're pretty much running 3 guards and 2 bigs at that point, which it's not a problem depending on, like, if you had a guard that was 6'5" and, like, played big, that'd be different, right? Like, Williams pretty much was a guard. We just put him at the 3, that'd be different. But playing Paul at the 3 and then having just that small lineup, I don't like that. So that's just my take. As Johnson says, basketball question here. Given our current team, would you look for a more traditional big or more modern that move and shoots? Traditional. I do not need a big man. I do not need a stretch 5. That's not what I need. I need a big man just going to be in the paint. We got shooters. I don't need another one. From what I'm understanding, Embiid can shoot. Hammond can shoot. Paul can shoot. Yalaho can shoot. Like, we don't need no more shooters. It's only one ball, and we know Paul gonna put it up, or he better put it up. So I just need a big to go down there and get the boards. As Kobe would say, get it off the rim. Right? Like, I don't need a big that's trying to be out there picking and popping. Nah, I need, hey, you always in the paint. And you can play above the rim. That's what I need. I need a pick, roll, lob type big. That would be great. James Johnson said, just trust in Justin. He's going to get it done. He's not Will the Snake Wade. Listen, I don't doubt that Gainey will get it done. I don't have a doubt in that. In the meantime, I sit here and I'm like, we continue to miss on these bigs, and in any other situation, it'd be different because your star player or supposed to be star player doesn't have you waiting, right? They normally tell you early, boom, I'm back. What you gonna put around me, coach? Instead, ours just waited. And we start adding pieces, and it's like, we can't move on this person because we don't know if he gonna move on a number again. Like, that's not a normal situation. So I don't know what that has done to Gainey's plan, right? It could have modified some things, and he might have had it figured out before, and now he's got to pivot and be like, all right, now what we gonna do? We got old boy to stay, great. Had to pay more than we wanted to. We was gonna put that little extra on a big. Now we got to band-aid our big situation. Like, hopefully that's not the case, but you never know. Brothers, I miss Burns. Yeah, you're not the only one. David Johnson, here $2 million for Paul. Got a bargain discount for him. Free up some more cash. I hope so. Right? I was thinking we'd have to go 3 max, So 4 was just a wild number. Alan Williams says, Frank, 6'11", 250 from Washington, is talking to staff. Yeah, I need him on campus. The talking stuff, all that Zooming, I don't got time for that. Like, I need him on campus before we start talking about him and getting hyped, because you see how these guys are just, they talking to us and then they committing to other schools like the next day. It's wild. David said he wants a rim running project big would be ideal. I like most of that. A rim running, yes. Project, I don't like that part. Big, I like that part. But I don't want a project big because it makes me think of, oh, you got a red shirt in a year, or they're playing spot minutes because you can't keep them on the court, whatever. I don't want to be a project. I want to be, that's what he specializes in. Like exactly what you said. What he rim runs, that's it. He does it well at an elite level. He's not shooting no threes, not bringing the ball up court. None of that. He get the rebound, outlet, straight to the front of the rim. Like, yeah, I would like that. Christopher says, if you can't get height, find some girth. Believe JG is being methodical, and with his searches already looking better than last year this time, more thought is going into the roster construction. I agree. Like, you know, on paper, the numbers look good on paper, right? You telling me I got a point guard, shooting guard, 2 shooting guards. So 3 guys that I'm potentially going to play together to shoot 40% from 3. I like it. Then you say I'm going to add in a forward that shoots 40% from 3. I like it on paper. Now, the thing is, we know these guys are not coming from big-time conferences. So, except for Paul. So I'm like, And we know our guy Paul, at least this past year, can go past him and get missing in games. I mean, we're praying that doesn't happen going forward. He can't do that no more. So, yeah, like I said, it looks good on paper. Bradley said, since Paul is most paid, fan favorite or not, no different than Williams this past year, got to produce results. Listen, I said it before. I'm glad he came back, but I don't know that Paul is built for what he about to go through. And I think I'm being realistic. I think it's going to be some growing pains. It might take him to a conference play to realize, oh, I'm the man. My team is only going to go as far as I take them. Like, he can't be 13 points a game, Paul, and we be decent. It's not going to happen. Unless Gainey signs some other big name in the portal before the season starts. Your Batman can't be averaging 13 points a game on this team. Like, it's not going to happen. So I'm hoping that would be most ideal about conference play. He's figured it out. But beginning of the year, I think it'll be kind of rough because he's going to be in the mode of, okay, boom, I got my shot up. I hit the open shot. Cool. But you can't defer. Like you able to play breakdown. You got to be able to be like, look, I'm going to bail us out. Give me the ball. And then again, we know he may not have that skill set, right? So who is that guy? At the end of the shot clock, is it going to be Edmead or is it going to be Hammond? Like, who's going to be that guy that can bail you out with a tough shot? I don't know. You would want it to be Paul because he is the highest paid. But regardless of that scenario, the rest of it, he's got to be going all game. And I don't want to be talking about him like I did Williams, where it's like, yo, you took 5 shots last game. Like, you can't be making 2 to 3 mil on a college team taking 5 shots. Nah, he got to put that thing up. I'm not putting it up. I'm gonna be like, hey, I need one of these young kids to go to the village and let them know. Shoot the ball. Hopefully that's not gonna be the case. King Cover says, bring one of them JUCO kids, give them 3 tutors. Hey, look, exactly. All you gotta do is get them through 2 semesters. If they can't cut it after that, go find another one. Stevie King says, Gary, how much NIL would you think we have spent up to this point? Just speculation. Yeah, I have no idea. If I was guessing, I mean, if we saying Paul is at 3, then I'm gonna say it's got to be close to 10. You've got, let's see, yeah, I'd say probably close to 10, maybe 9, if we're being nice about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, maybe 9, but we got like what 6 more spots we got to fill up, and we're probably operating at like 12 max for our NIL. So yeah, these guys that are coming through now, they're not playing. Except for the one big. We do got to get one big, so he's gonna take the most of that probably. But everybody else is gonna be on the bench. I agree. David Johnson, think we need to bring in at least 2 more bigs that play physical. We need that. We need to be able to switch it up. You got a finesse, big, Evans, small dude, bouncy. All right, and you need to get you somebody that's a bruiser. I want a big that's like, yo, you come in here, I'm taking you out the air. Like, I know my boy Evans is blocking shots, but I'm not blocking shots. I'm just going to go ahead and wall up, me and you in the air. If I hit the ball, great, but I'm making sure that you don't get an and one. I want one of those bigs. David also says, Embiid is capable of hitting game winners. I've seen some highlights. I think he is. He definitely shoots well off the dribble, so that works. He comes to, I definitely feel like this is just year 1 with JG. Top 7 ACC finish, build up to top 4 in year 2. So, thanks for this comment. I agree that I think year 2 will be a lot better for gaming. I believe that if he is the relationship builder we think he is, or we're saying that he is, then he should not have crazy turnover. Like, he should be able to retain some guys based off of the NIL budget, right? Especially the ones that are the gems that he's worked on. Paul should be gone. Hopefully he has a great year and he goes to the league. But all those other kids, for the most part, have extra years. So hopefully he's able to start building his culture and keeping a few. And I think that's definitely going to help him out year 2. Top 4 year 2, unless we change how we spending our money and start pushing more of that rev share to basketball, I don't know. That's going to be tough because the money just going to keep going up. And that's going up $2 million each year, not going to be enough. So that's going to be interesting. But I definitely, if we're 7th this upcoming year, I definitely think he'll beat that the year after. James says a couple of more big men projects would be great. Rim running, defending, and rebounding. Yeah, I keep using that word project. I'm just like, I don't like the word project. Seems like limited minutes to me. Bradley says, just like Copeland and me might become that player. You know, so here's the thing. I like when guys surprise you, right? They step up and they're way better than what you expected, like Quadir. But when that happens, you then realize, man, I done overpaid for this other dude who I thought was going to be boom and take us here, and it ruins everything. So I want guys to be better than what we project, like Adams, for example. This guy Adams we talking about, former McDonald's All-American, was at Maryland. Everybody has a project to come off the bench right now, right? As a backup, like shooting guard. But he can run the point. Like he pretty much can do, he can do everything from probably 1 through 3. If this guy ends up being a whole lot better than what he is, then we have a situation where it's like, oh, is it him or is it Paul? Right? Like, who's the go-to? It's a good and bad situation to have. Right? Now your number one guy is not the number one guy. In our situation with Paul, that might be what he wants, unless he shows us otherwise. But that's something that makes me a little nervous. Like, I mean, if he ends up being like that dog that we had in Copeland and sort of just it's his team, I'm gonna be like, man, I'm gonna be a little tight with Paul because he had us waiting for no reason. We already had our guy. Clyde Gaddis says, what do you think State is going to finish in the ACC? Listen. All right. So right now, just based off how stuff is looking, I don't think, let me say who I think will finish ahead of us. Let's see where we end up at. Miami, Louisville, Duke. That's 3. I was going to say UNC, but they stuff looking a little suspect now, so I'm not going to count them. Virginia is 4. Who am I missing, y'all? Miami, Louisville, Duke, Virginia. Pitt's gotten a whole lot better. They made some moves. I know Pitt is just never really good, but I don't know about them. They're looking a little better. Maybe like I don't even know who SMU have. We might be sitting at like 5 or 6. It's possible because Carolina does have. If they can get them a big that's decent, then that probably puts them ahead of us, just based off of they've got the guy from Virginia Tech, or some more Dallas or some crazy mess like that, and the guy from Utah. So, and if Abel's there, that gives him a bump. But if he goes to the NBA, cool, that's great. And by the way, if he goes to the NBA, I'm gonna have to do an apology video for him, because he committed, but then he didn't actually go over there, so I wouldn't be as mad with him. But we'll talk about that at a later time. So maybe to answer your question, I'm gonna say 6th. That's where I put us at, finishing 6th in the ACC. Bradley says, whether the season goes more good or bad, Gainey should have a better feel for year 2 of what he needs. I think he already has a feel for what he needs. So, I mean, he was in the SEC. He's been in the ACC before. I think he knows. He's not coming in here like Wade being like, oh, now we get it. We went too much this way. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be him knowing like, hey, look, I now know how much you're going to give me for NIL. So I'm not going to be out here, food, and I'm going to spend this money a little different. It might be something like that. But I think he knows what he needs. James Johnson says, didn't care for Copeland and his antics, ran his mouth too much, couldn't back it up, breaking free throws, lose games. Yes, him cost us at least 2 games by himself. So James, I hear you. He did a lot of running his mouth. He did a lot of talking. Now he did back up a lot of his talking, but you're right. He did miss some key free throws, like Miami. He missed free throws against SMU, but he did so much in that game. He sort of made up for it, and then they missed the shot. So it's like Copeland was always a person for me that's like, okay, he might give you 5-6 turnovers, but what he's doing on the other end is like maybe he gets you 3 or 4 steals. Like he could do that. And then he's going to get you, 9-10 assists sometimes. He's just creating so much that I sort of take the good with the bad with that guy. I'm not going to lie. Like, he's one of the few players, and I'm like, he's playing so hard that if he was not playing hard, talking junk, that'd be different. But the fact that he was playing harder than probably anybody else on our team while running his mouth, I just accept it. It's fine. He didn't really get teed up or kicked out as much as I thought he would, considering how much his mouth was running, which is interesting. David Johnson says 5 for 5 rule probably going to pass, so everyone on this roster will get an extra year. Yeah. I'm glad they're not doing that retro, because that was going to throw a wrinkle in some stuff. Right? Like, to have some guys who were supposed to be graduating and all these people that still got eligibility throwing their name in, trying to get one more year, a NIL, that was going to be terrible. So, yeah, if you can retain your guys a little bit and not have these other programs steal them, that'd be good. A.S. Johnson says, I hope NC State leans back into our history a bit. It was super disappointing that top brass had those issues with the slobbering wolf logo. That is who we are. Man, this logo stuff, not being able to use state, like all of that stuff is wild. And I wish I understood it better. Because I'm like, that is so disappointing. And I'm like, is it us as fans that want stuff we can't have? Do we want this stuff just because they don't want us to have it? Right? Do we want the state jerseys just because we don't wear them anymore? Once we get them, we're going to be like, oh, man, I wish we had different jerseys. Because I really wasn't bothered by the whole state thing for a while. Then as I started to learn, we can't use state. I'm like, what? That's crazy talk. What are you talking about? That is wild. The Slobbering Wolf, I have to be honest, I don't own any Slobbering Wolf apparel. I got Block S apparel, but Slobbering Wolf, I was looking, and when we were going through that whole thing, I was gonna wear some, and I was like, oh, I don't even have any. So that was never like my favorite logo. But I understand people like it, and for some reason, it's just a thing. I don't get it. Jonathan, welcome to the party. Says, hey guys, sorry for being late. I had to put my little 2-year-old down. I know that can be a hassle. Oh, here we go. We were running the teams that might be ahead of us in the ACC this year. David Johnson says Clemson, Pitt could be better than us. Yeah, I mentioned Pitt. Clemson, Clemson always decent, right? I don't know where they be getting these guys from. I guess they don't have a lot to transfer out, and yeah, they keep them in there. You got a good machine going down there. I guess you Your coach has been there that long. You can do that. B-Raz says RJ Keene is going to be on the floor a lot. Glue guys are hard to find. Let's talk about Keene, So I know he's the glue guy, self-proclaimed, and he goes into these games and he's like hustling. I see him hustling like crazy. He used to be a scorer in high school, but then he realized he can impact, the game other ways. Heard all about it. I like that type of player. Okay. I want to be clear. I do like that type of player. But I'm just not too hype about him yet. Because I need more leadership qualities for me. And I'm not saying he doesn't have them. But when you call yourself a glue guy, it's not just you make the hustle plays for me. Like, that type of dude could be the dude that hurt you in practice because he playing so hard, he diving, he hit your legs, boom. All of a sudden, we got players out. I'm not saying that's what happened, but that type of guy is where those injuries occur. So if he's going to be a glue guy, that means he's got to be, for me, on the court, making sure everybody in the right spot, right? You're communicating on defense. We don't have no lapses when he's in the game. And if you're like that, it should be hard to keep you off the court. You shouldn't be a guy to be looking at as a seventh man. Because right now, I don't know, y'all tell me, it doesn't sound like he's going to be the sixth man. That's probably going to be the McDonald's All-American Adams, right? And then before then, it might be a big, because King's going to be he's a small forward or a guard-ish. So that might put him at 7-8 unless he bring him in at the same time. You know how the rotation shortened. I'm just like, if you really, really like that, that means you got to be getting more minutes as a glue guy. If not, I'm just gonna call you a hustle guy. Like, oh, he come in and he hustles and he plays hard. Oh, there we go. See, Jonathan came in with some heat. Florida State. That's who I forgot. Florida State is probably going to be ahead of us in the standings. And I'm basing that off coaching. The way that man got whooped by us and turned his team around was impressive. Because they went on a run after we beat the brakes off of them. So I do like him as a coach. I don't know who he has playing for him this upcoming year, but I think whoever it is, he's going to get the most out of him. Andy Satan says, where we finish can change dramatically if we score a dominant big. Now, look, a dominant big at this point, we're in May. All them jokers are gone. Like, I think that ship has sailed. The dominant big. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I think we getting a can he walk and chew bubblegum at the same time big at this point. So let me, recap for y'all. I'm seeing people asking about what we discussed so far. So we talked about, what we need being backup bigs. We have talked about the potential of Musa returning and how I do not want that. Some others in here do not want that. Okay. We have talked about rotation. So my ideal lineup does not have Paul McNeil at the 3. Okay. I'm not looking to play at Meade, Hammond, and Paul ideally all at the same time. I would like to have my 3 be bigger, maybe Yalaho at the 3 with Paul at the 2, and then either Hammond or Meade playing the 1, and then our 4 be maybe somebody we don't have yet, or you move Evans to the 4, and we got a center that we don't have yet starting. That would be my ideal lineup, because Paul does not need to be at a 3. So we discussed that. Let's see. We have talked about where potentially State's going to be conference-wise, like our record in ACC. I said it's going to be around 6th, probably 5th or 6th. And, we just, now that you all have mentioned it, we got Miami, Duke, Florida State, Virginia, maybe Pitt. They might be in front of us based off of what people are adding so far. And then even possibly Carolina if they're able to get their big man situation situated, or Abel does actually play for them, right? So that's 6 teams that right there to make a 7th if Carolina can get right. If they can't, then, maybe we're 5th, 6th, somewhere in there. We talked about Will Wade interview and how he was up there bold-faced lying to people. And how Rothstein just let him say whatever. That's got to be his boy, like, for real. I swear he let that man to death. Because that interview, he just gave him softball questions the whole time. And he barely asked about, how he snuck out of NC State and let him tell it his way. So we talked about that. But, yeah, that's pretty much, where we're at. Just discussing how we need to get ourselves some hype, because we're one injury away from having Keith's final year type season in year 1, right? Y'all remember when what was my man name? Oh man, the big dude we had that hurt his shoulder, Bates. Sorry, drew a blank. I remember when Manny just barely got tapped, and all of a sudden he was out for the year. That year was bad. And then, of course, Keith's other year, we had just part of his coaching and Brandon Huntley Hatfield being terrible. So yeah, we gotta get some depth in the front court, because it could be bad. King Cover says, kind of bummed Trey Givens is going to Creighton. Really think he could have developed well under Gainey. I agree. For him to be a defensive big, is supposed to be coming in blocking shots. I'm very surprised he just jumped ship so quick. I didn't say quick, but did he definitely jump ship? It doesn't seem like he was willing to listen to what the new staff was talking about. But I give him his props. He didn't go to LSU. So no ill will towards that man. That right there told me, okay, he got some substance with him. Because if you had followed Wade to LSU, I would have been like, oh, we ain't want him anyway. But you never know. Maybe kid goes over there and then we get him back second time around. We know how this portal thing works. So, I actually wish him well. Let him try it out somewhere else. And maybe we spin the block and come and check him out next year. So, Cloud, I covered this already. I'm going to bring it up again as I'm just getting to your comment. Who's NC State starting 5? Right? So, right now, everyone is saying at Meade, run the point, Hammond at 2, Paul at 3, Yalaho at 4, Evans 5. I don't like that starting 5. I think that starting 5 is 7th place in the ACC at best. I would like, I don't care who runs the point between Hammond or Ed Meade, but I like Paul at the 2. Put Yalaho at the 3, and then figure out our 2 big situation. If we can get a 7-footer, that'd be great. Then you can move Evans to the 4, and you have a 6'11" and 7-footer in there. That'd be great. Like that 1 inch makes a whole lot of difference, right? But still, another big in there with him, and that would be better than having somebody at the 4, just 6'8", right? I want him to be a bigger 4. James Johnson says a good serviceable big man would do wonders for us. We're going to need some of those bottom feeder teams that are going to be better next season. We're going to need some of those bottom feeder teams are going to be better next season. Oh, okay. It's just some stuff missing. We're going to need some of those, comma. Bottom feeder teams is going to be better next season. I got you. Yeah, we are. Everybody's definitely going to be better. So hopefully that's also better for the league. King Cover says, hey, if Adams develops at State, I think he may stay around for year 3. So look, I don't know about this Adams kid because I feel like if he does, like, it's possible for him to just boom at State and stay. But, oh no, he could boom and be like, oh, I'm chasing the bag and dip on us. Right? That's what makes me nervous, is because I do think, based off of the film I've seen on this cat, oh, he's good. He's taking somebody minutes. Like, I don't know who, but Gainey gonna have something on his hands with this kid, because I think if he gets in a situation where he can play that able role, it's gonna be like, yo, you got to put him on the court. Like he does too much. If you can have a guy that can rebound, take off with it, play make on the break, keep it himself, dunk with somebody if you have to, shoot the 3 if you have to, lock up if you have to. Like, it's just too much. He just brings too much to have him sitting on the bench. So I think once he gets it all figured out, that's going to be a problem. I mean, a good problem for us, but it will be a problem. Jonathan said, did anyone say we should receive an update on Frank in the next couple of days? No one has said that. We've talked about him doing a Zoom, but that's it. Nothing about a visit. If you got some insight, let us know. Jonathan said, give me Paul, Adams at the 1 through 3. Adams is 89th percentile on the pick and roll offense. Dude's a playmaker. He is. I've seen it. That's why I'm like, there's some people saying that he gonna be like the 6th man. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I get the numbers weren't impressive where he was at before at Maryland, but it's like you could tell, like when you see him on film, he got a pop to him, and you've been in the Big Ten. I'm just like, yo, I think he's gonna take some minutes from somebody, and from what you're saying here, that somebody would be Hammond, because that does not have him starting. It's tough. Christopher said, either way, we would have to take a flyer if he wants size. I took a look, and then just thin. Might be best to go get 2 bigs from the mid-major level. Absolutely. That's another thing we did discuss. Like, you have to, at this point, go get a JUCO, mid-major, big, whatever, just for some depth. We're not going to be, I don't think we're going to get a big-time big at this point. Like, if we do, great. But I'm not betting on that. I'm not even going to get my hopes up for that. That'd be a great surprise if that happens. King says, I don't know if P2 starts at the 3. I wouldn't be surprised if King starts and Yalaho comes off the bench. Woo! Let me sit up for this. King, you said, I don't know if P2 starts at the 3. I'm assuming you saying P2 is going to start at the 2. Not that he's not going to start. I get what you're saying. I know there's no way you're saying that. So he was like, I wouldn't be surprised if King starts and Yalaho comes off the bench. So you're just taking Yalaho out, putting King in to play the 4? Is that what you're saying? Clear that up for me, because I know King's supposed to be like 6'7", but he's not a 4. So that means you're putting King at the 3. So who's playing the 4 in your lineup? That's what I'm missing. Because I get what you're saying. You move Paul from the 3 to the 2. I like that part. And then you're taking King and putting him at the 3, and your Laho coming off the bench. So who's playing the 4 in your lineup? Now, while I wait for you to respond to me there, let me tell you, I don't like King starting for us. I mean, it's not that he's a bad player, but it tells you the level of our team if he's starting for us in the ACC. I don't want that. I want it to be where, okay, he can't start for us because we have better players. I really ideally wouldn't want Yalaho starting. I'd love if we had a good enough team that both of them came off the bench. But I'm not going to be greedy. But the fact to have King starting that's interesting. So let me ask y'all. Most of you have chimed in on, the lineups, how you feel about stuff. I have not heard. Well, I heard that Grayson at Locked On did a little poll, right? And I asked myself, and some of you chimed in, and the poll was: are you rooting for Carolina or LSU if they're like playing each other, right? And I thought myself, I was like, I asked my wife, I said, what would I do in that situation? Because I hate Carolina, like with a passion. And I hate Will Wade at this point. So for me, it's probably gonna be more the timing. If they're playing this upcoming year, I might not be able to watch the game, y'all. I might just have to be like, tell me what happened at the end. Because I'm not picking. That's my answer. I'm not picking. I don't know how y'all feel, but I can never root for Carolina for anything. It's just how I feel. No matter if they are playing the worst dude ever in Will Wade. Yes, John said, before you ask, yes, UNC over the snake. Whew, that's what I'm hearing. There's a lot of people saying they root for Carolina in that scenario. That's wild. John was like, what are we talking about? It's always go to hell, Carolina. Wade could lose every other game. I hear you. That's not, I don't want them to win, though. Like, I don't even want them to have the satisfaction of beating Carolina, but I don't want Carolina to win. That's why I can't chime in on this. It's Johnson. Wade used NC State. He was buying a house down there in February. Let him tell it. He made the decision 2 days before. He just went on record saying that today. Crazy. David said, I won't care who won. I feel you. UNC versus LSU both suck to me. Wilfredo Wade is a punk. Yeah, he's soft. So, y'all think we're going to get the chance to have that SEC challenge matchup? Y'all think they'll set us up right and let them come on back to Raleigh for that? Or are they scared to set that up? Because he's going to need some security. Like, yeah, he going to need some security. It's going to have to be all the sheriffs around that man. And it might not even be the students. It could be one of the staff members. I don't know, but it's gonna be some extra security at that game if that happens. Guarantee that. Christopher said, looking like Wade is struggling. We finding out we can bring our own height. Dude talks big, might be a fraud. Oh, he definitely a fraud. Let me tell you. I recognize that early. Like, yo, you doing a lot of talking, but you're not doing nothing you talking about. And then he's saying a lot of the same stuff now at LSU. Right? He's using the same little catchphrases. It's just stuff he got memorized. But I mean, he'll sell. He can sell some stuff now. He can sell you on his idea of what the program is going to be and make it sound good. But you put that man in certain basketball situations, he's going to crumble. Part of it is he's never hooped. He's not a hooper. You see how his body is built. He was never a hooper. So he don't know what these guys going through out there. Like, and I know you don't necessarily have to play to be a good coach, but he's one of those ones where he not only does he not have the experience as a hooper, he just don't know much at all. He just out there winging it. Really, that's what he's doing. He's winging it. And he's trying to use analytics to win. Like, oh, it tells me this person should be playing. And he's looking at stuff that makes no sense. And he's just like, but the numbers say, I don't know. It's crazy. B-Ran said, Wade says he's only paying 7 or 8 players. That's the one that will play. Hey, look, I will say he said, look, last year he paid too many players, right? You got like an 8-man rotation, and he had dead money on the roster. So one, that's your fault that the money was dead on the roster. You could have put some of them dudes in the game when you getting your butt whooped, but you didn't. And then two, how that's gonna work? So you just gonna, like he mentioned, really it's just good for practice, right? Okay, well, we know you get better in practice. So that tells me your team gonna be trash because they playing scrubs all day, right? You're gonna have a week off, come back, and they still gonna be terrible. And throughout the season, they're gonna be terrible because they practicing against dudes that just in open runs and regular students. Like, if you got these guys playing against nobodies, they're not going to improve. Competition helps you get better. Iron sharpens iron. Like, what we doing? So that was a silly statement. I don't know how he's going to manage to be like, oh, I'm getting all my money to 7, 8 guys and then fill the rest out with just walk-ons for the most part. That's pretty much what he's trying to do. David says, Wilfredo Wade is used to being a big fish in a small pond. Totally overrated playing in cupcake leagues. Yeah. Yeah, Johnson said, no way in hell I'm comfortable sending my kids to learn hard work, ethics, and integrity from Will Wade. You know, I wondered, as a parent, is it really just going to be about the money for you? Like, I get it. It's a lot of money. I was thinking the same thing with Paul, right? If Wade had offered Paul some crazy amount of money and he took it, would we be like, it's okay, the money was so large that you understand? Because for me, I wouldn't, right? At some point, you got to have principle. It's like, look, that's unacceptable. How you doing, people? And money just makes it okay. I feel like that will show in other parts of life if you move like that. And I'm so glad that he didn't do that. That's the main reason I want him to have like the loyalty bonus. Like, look, we give you that a little bit more because I understand you probably passing up more money, but being a good person goes with you longer. And I was talking with Casey Morcell about it. I'm like, look, he brought it up. When you have life after basketball, you want to be able to come back to something. That man was never going to be able to come to Raleigh again if he had rolled out. So as a parent, you got to be like, look, my kid going to be hated or looked at differently because he's willing to go play for this guy. Like, maybe he just have a bunch of orphans on his team this year. Or people that don't know what he just did. You got to go international because these American people know. Like, oh, you just left that school high and dry in the middle of the day. Yeah, I want my son to go play for you. That's cool. I want him to learn how to move like that. No. I refuse to think a parent wants that for their child. Jonathan says, change the subject from the snake. I know some don't like Musa back, but if we do bring him back, how many additional bigs do we need? We need the same number of bigs we need if we don't bring him back. Because he's obsolete to me. Like, I do not like Musa. You weren't here to hear me say that. If we bring Musa back, however many bigs we need now, before bringing him back, that's how many we need. I do not want to count on this man. He will not be dependable. He won't be. So I'm going to give you a number. I'm going to say 2. We need 2 more bigs. And then I'll take forwards from there out. I don't need no more guards. We got plenty of those. 2 bigs, rest forwards. That's what we need. Yeah, Sean saying interview with Casey was amazing, by the way. Keep getting those NCs. I'm working on it. I'm going to get y'all some more. I'm going to get y'all some more. We just had to get Casey in first. We have more of a relationship with him, so we'll go from there. Start bringing people on. James says, no Musa at any time. NC State, as I mentioned, needs to stay far away from Musa as possible. Musa plays with his head up his ass. Hey, listen. Whew. I thought I was the only one that really was not a fan of this guy. That's James, you feel some type of way. Yeah, man, I don't hearing Musa coming back is just says so much. Right? I'm reading between the lines. Telling me Musa potentially returning says, we don't got no other options. It says, Paul held out so long, we had to give him some more money. Oops. It says, man, he the best thing left. Like, it's not a good look. Now, if you want to bring him back behind 2 other bigs, cool. But I don't want you to bring him back as a rotational piece. If he comes back and he's in the rotation and a backup big, shoot, some people talking about this dude starting at the 4 or playing at the 4. Oh my gosh. I don't even want to think about that. Oh, Jonathan. Y'all, Musa had good defensive numbers. I know y'all don't want to go back into this. Listen, there were times where, yes, Musa looked like, oh, the potential was there. But at the end of that season, man, he quit. Like, while everybody else seemed to still be playing, whether they knew old boy was going to leave or not, he was faking injuries, getting knocked around. He getting 1 or 2 rebounds. Like, I just don't like it. I don't like his heart. So for me, like Shark Tank, I'm out. Yeah, Johnson says, I know we aren't a full roster and things can change, but assuming we get a few big men, how do you see Ganny's offensive system? I don't think it's his system. I think it's going system. So we don't know. It's gonna probably be a lot of threes and more up tempo. Which, if it's gonna be that, you got to be able to rebound. Like you can't play a fast tempo if you can't defensive rebound. So we got to work on that. James says, correct. I do Bobby Knight. Correct, I do. Bobby Knight is right about some players. Musa has Bobby Knight turning over in his grave. Yeah, that Musa. Never thought I'd be talking about him so much in the postseason. In the off season, excuse me. Thought we were done with this guy. All right, Pack. Well, we've been on here for a good bit. I appreciate y'all chiming in with your boy and having this conversation late on a Tuesday night. If you haven't already, check out the PWG memberships. I got those. Just click join, see which one fits best for you. But in the meantime, we're going to keep our eye out for these commitments. I'll come back on. If you are one of the members, I will be getting that information to y'all first and talking about that with you more intimately. But hey, y'all know where to find me. Chime in the chat. Till next time, please like, subscribe, share the channel with your Wolfpack family. Go Pack.